Hi guys, today is, I hit it too many times, Tuesday, July 28th, and today we are going to focus on our lower body mostly, but being gentler on our lower body. As we age, we tend to develop more issues with our bigger joints, our hips and our knees needing replacements at some point sometimes. So we're going to do some yoga poses today that allow you to increase the flexibility or range of motion, or work on the flexibility and range of motion of your bigger joints like your knees and your hips, but without bearing weight on them. So it shouldn't be too taxing on those joints, but yet you're still getting a good stretch because you want to keep that range of motion still active. So that's what we're going to focus on today. What you're going to need is you're going to need a chair, like what I'm sitting in now. A block or two possibly, or some stacked towels or blankets, and a tie or a towel, or a tie strap or a towel possibly as well. So go ahead, have a seat in your chair. If you want to sit on the floor, that's totally fine. But again, we're focusing on being more kind or gentler to our knees and our hips today. So grab a seat. Begin to let the outside world go. And bring your awareness onto yourself and onto your breath. And so my quote today is called JOMO, J-O-M-O. And normally it's FOMO, fear of missing out, but today is JOMO. And it's the joy of missing out. And it's the feeling content with staying in and disconnecting as a form of self-care. JOMO, joy of missing out, feeling content with staying in and disconnecting as a form of self-care. So I know we've all been, at home more, a lot more isolated from friends, from family, and it may have caused us to be on our laptops more, our computers more, our phones more. But see if when you're home, if you can find some joy in just being home with the solitude of being quiet, of really disconnecting. Don't have the TV on, don't have the radio on, turn your phone off, your computer off, and see if you can find the joys of just being in that solitude, that peaceful place of quiet, of stable, of still. Because that's a form of self-care too. Prior to all this whole COVID thing, we were all running around and, running errands, buying this, doing that, whatever. And if anything, maybe this crisis has taught us to slow down, that maybe we don't need to do as much as we thought we did. Like, I don't need to go to Target twice a week or Heinen's 3 times a week. I can make do with going to Heinen's once a week and Target like once a month. And it's okay. So find the joys that this time at home has brought you, those little gifts. Because they're sprinkled all around. But you just gotta open your eyes and find them. Take a few more breaths here. And then on your next inhale, blink your eyes to open. And just reach your arms out and up. Look up at your hands, grow nice and tall. And then exhale those arms out and down and just fold forward. If you can touch the floor, great. This might be the time or place where you want to reach for the block or the blankets in front of you. And then roll back up reach those arms out and up. This time, take the right arm forward, left arm back for an open arm twist. Just bringing out the spine. And then inhale, come back up, look up at your hands. And this time, exhale, left arm forward, right arm back. And then inhale, both arms back up, look up. And then again, arms out and around and down. And again, reach for the floor or your block or your blanket. And just let your head fall and be heavy. And then on your next inhale, slowly roll back and up. And then just roll those shoulders back a few times. And then roll them forward a few times. And then go ahead and have your hands grab the back of your chair. You might want to scoot to the edge of your seat a little bit now. And just have your hands hold onto that chair and just keep your spine forward and spine long and lean forward a little bit. So you're just broad across the front of that chest. Opening it up, keeping your head and neck in line with your spine. Take a couple breaths here. And then come back to sit up tall, release the bind, shake it out a little bit. And then again, inhale, reach those arms out and up. Exhale your hands to your heart. And again, inhale, reach out and up. Exhale your hands on down. And one more time, reach out and up. Exhale your hands to your heart. Close your eyes. Set your intention for today's practice. Blink your eyes to open. Lower the hands on down. Go ahead and set your block aside or blanket aside. And you're still sitting on the edge of your seat. Your knees are bent. Your ankles are right underneath your knees. So your knees are at a 45 or at a 90-degree angle. Sorry, not 45. So sit tall here. You can hold on to the sides of your chair if you'd like. And you're just going to lift that right leg up, keeping that right foot flexed. If you don't need to hold on to the seat, great, you can reach those arms out and hold it, or you can reach those arms up and just hold it here. So you're working the core, but you're also getting some range of motion, ankles, knees, and hips right here, but it's also very gentle. If you can't lift the foot that high, just hover it wherever to your degree, as long as your spine stays tall. And then next exhale, lower on down. You can butterfly the legs. And then same thing on the other side. So you can hold onto the chair, lift that knee up, still keeping that posture nice and tall, pulling the belly to your spine. If you need to hold on, you can still keep holding on, or you can reach the arms out, or you can reach them on up. Keep breathing while you're here. And then exhale those arms down, knee goes down. Butterfly those legs again. So this time you're going to extend that right leg out. And again, you can hold on to the chair. That right foot is flexed. The knee can be slightly bent or it can be straight. And again, I want the posture nice and tall. So don't get the leg higher if you're going like this. Posture tall first, leg lower. Again, you can hold it here. You can reach those arms out. You can reach those arms up. So now we're building some hip flexor strength. Stay here, keep breathing. And then exhale everything down. Go ahead and butterfly on out. Same thing on the other side. So go ahead and extend that left leg out. Again, posture stays tall. Hands can stay gripping. They can reach out. They can reach up. Again, that knee can be slightly bent or it can be straight. Just breathe here. And then exhale everything down. Go ahead and butterfly. And then take your feet a little bit wider, like maybe about as wide as your mat. And this time we're going to kind of do something where you're going to stay moving with it, but it's using your core to help support you, but you're also getting some, again, hip flexor strength and still the range of motion. So all you're going to do is you're just going to twist and touch the right hand to the left knee, lower down, twist the left hand to right knee, lower down, twist to left, lower down, twist to the right, lower down, again, left, lower down, right, lower down, 4 more, left, lower down, right, lower down, 2 more, left, lower down, and right, lower down. Go ahead and butterfly that out. And now keep your feet maybe closer together now again. And a couple options here. You can keep one leg bent and just straighten the other leg out. Let me just go back here a little bit. So you can keep it like this, or you can have both legs out straight. But watch with the one leg, left leg bent first. So you're gonna sit tall, you're gonna reach your arms out nice and long in front of you. And then you're just gonna lean forward, keeping your spine nice and long, pulling that belly in. And reach to where you can't go any further before you start to round. And then just hang out once your spine can't stay long any longer. If this is enough for you, stay here. If you wanna have both legs straight, then you can have both legs straight. Either option is fine. And again, as always, knees can be slightly bent. It's more about the spine pulling in. Also a great release for the low back. Take a couple more breaths here. And then on your next exhale, slowly roll back up. Bend those knees. Go ahead and butterfly. And we'll do the same thing on the other side. So this time the right knee stays bent, right foot flat on the earth. Left leg extends out. Again, it can be slightly bent or it can be all the way straight. Arms reach out nice and long. Your spine is nice and long. And then begin to lean forward, pulling your belly in until you can't go any further before you start to round. And as always, you can always extend that right leg out, or you can keep that right leg bent. Take a couple breaths here. And then next exhale, slowly roll up. And then lower the arms down, bend those knees up. Go ahead and butterfly the legs again. And then go ahead and sit back in your chair. Do one more pose sitting down, and we're going to stand up and do a few things for our legs. So this time, you may need your strap or your towel, whichever you have. If you don't need it, you don't need it. So what we're going to do is you're going to sit nice and tall, and your back can be against the chair, like I said, and you're going to pull that right knee up into your chest. So if you can do it and hold your hands, fine, that's great. If you need a little help, you can fold forward and put the strap on the ball of your right foot. And then just pull it up with the strap to your degree. Again, it's getting some range of motion, hips, knees, ankles, but it's taking away some of the effort that we don't necessarily need to do, right? Especially if our knees or hips are bothering us. So this is perfectly fine. Let me show you from a side angle. So you just sit here like this. If you can hold the knee in with your arms, that's great too. So just take a couple breaths here. And then slowly release that right leg. Go ahead and butterfly. So again, these are all things to do for the knees and hips where you're not bearing weight on them, especially like our knees when we age. I know myself, I can't run 2 days in a row on the treadmill. I have to have a day off in between because my knees start to bother me. That never used to be the case, but now it is, and it's okay. I'm aging too, so. This time you're gonna sit tall and you're gonna pull the left knee into your chest. Again, if you can hold it with your hands, great. If you need to have a little extra length to your arms, put the strap around the ball of that left foot and then just pull up on the strap to your degree. Again, this is what it would look like from the side. Take a couple breaths there. There's no strain on the knee. No strain on the hip. The weight is all being held in the straps, holding that leg up. And then go ahead and exhale, lower that left leg down. Remove the strap if you were using, and just go ahead and butterfly on out. And I lied, we're just gonna do one more kind of forward fold here, again, before we get up. So inhale, reach those arms out and up. And then exhale, go ahead and swan dive down. Again, you can reach for the floor or the block in front of you, just to release the low back. Again, it's kind of like doing a child's pose or a forward fold. It's a little bit easier, again, on those big joints of the lower body. And then on your next inhale, slowly roll back up. And then go ahead and set that block aside and the strap aside. And then you are going to stand up and you are going to stand behind your chair. So I'm just moving my chair forward a little bit. Okay, so you are standing behind your chair. Your feet are together behind the chair. And all you're going to do is just bend your knees to your degree while your feet are together. We're going to move them apart, but try and keep those feet together. If you really can't keep them together, move them slightly apart then. But just go ahead and bend those knees to your degree to a point where you feel comfortable that you can bend and still keep that posture nice and tall. Your chair is here just for stability or balance. If you don't need the chair, you can always reach the arms out. You can always reach the arms up. Just take a couple breaths here, keeping that spine nice and low. And then exhale, stand all the way up, lower those arms on down, walk those legs on out. Now take your feet about a little wider than hip distance. Your toes are still facing forward, so the sides of your feet are parallel to the sides of your mat. And again, go ahead and bend those knees, again to your degree where it feels comfortable, but you're feeling a little stretch, but it's not painful. Your hands can stay on the chair if you need them for balance. You can take them up. You can also bring them to your heart center, wherever it feels good. Take a couple of breaths, spine is still long and tall. And then exhale, stand all the way up and fold the arms back down. Bring your feet together, walk it on out. Now take your feet about as wide as your mat or a little bit further. Toes are going to turn out on your 45, heels are going to stay in. Again, you're going to bend your knees to your degree, keeping that spine up. You can stay right here with the hands on the chair. Option is to go out, up, hands to prayer. Wherever is good for you. Just take a couple breaths here. If it starts to hurt or pull in the knees or in the hips, come out of it a little bit. You've gone too far. This is not meant to hurt today, just to get that range of motion working where it's a little bit easier on those joints. And then exhale, stand all the way up, bring those arms around, hands back to your chair, and then go ahead and walk those legs on out. Okay, now take your feet, again, to a wider stance, so maybe a little bit wider than it was just that last pose. And again, turn your toes out on, both sets of toes out on a 45. You're still standing nice and tall, and just you're gonna bend one knee at a time, side to side. Take your time, only go as deep as what feels good. So even just doing this a couple times a day, if your knees are bothering you, is good. Range of motion for those knees, gets the fluids moving in those knees, and it's still keeping those joints active. Because the worst thing we can do is, if we're having troubles with a big joint, is not to use it. So, oh, I'm having knee pain, that means I'm gonna keep my knee straight, I'm not gonna bear any weights, I'm not gonna do anything with it. You still gotta try to keep using it, otherwise it ends up making it become more stiff, and it's harder to recover if you were end up needing a surgery, or if you had injured it, to help get past the injury. So again, just keep rocking side to side. And then next time you bend that right knee, just hang out there and see if you can hold it. Hold the belly in, arms can reach out, they can reach up, they can reach to prayer, or you can keep them on the chair. Either way, just keep breathing. And then straighten that right knee, kind of shake your hips out. Ooh, 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 ooh. And then again, we're gonna rock side to side. Bending those knees, back and forth. And the next time you go to the left side, stay on that left side. Hold it there. Pull the belly in, squeeze in through the hips. You can keep the hands on the chair. You can have them out, you can have them up, you can have them to prayer. Just take a few breaths here. And then drop the hands, straighten the knee, and then just kind of shimmy it out a little bit. And then bring your feet back together. And then feet are going to come to hip distance apart. You're going to step those feet back and take a downward facing dog on your chair. So I turn sideways. You're just going to look like this. So again, even in your down dog, your knees can be slightly bent or they can be straight. If you want to walk your dog out, you can deeply bend one knee at a time. You can even dump your hips into it, so you're adding a little spinal twist with it. And then come back to stillness in your dog. Look forward at your chair, and you're going to take your right foot forward. You can, two options, you can come up onto those back toes and lift that back heel up, or if you want to keep that left foot down. Either way is totally fine, whatever is better for that front knee. Again, because we're trying to be gentle on it. So you're just going to take a lunge here. So for me, when I want to be more gentle on the knee, I like having my back heel lifted and be on my back toes. So you're just in your lunge. Again, you can stay right here. And the important thing with this pose is don't have the knee track past the toe. See how I went past the ankle? You want the knee right over that ankle. You don't want it past. That's too taxing on the knees and it's unnecessary. So keep the knee tracking over the ankle. Again, you can bring the hands to prayer, you can bring them up. And then lower the hands back to the chair and go ahead and step that left foot forward. Walk it on out. And then take both feet back. Take another downward facing dog again. Again, knees can be slightly bent or they can be straight. If you want to really walk the dog out, you can really bend the one knee at a time. It's a gentle way to bend the knees. Get some movement in them. It also gets into your hips a little bit, gets into your side body a little bit. And then come back to stillness in your dog. Look forward at the chair, and you're going to step your left foot forward again this time. So you can have that back heel up, or you can have it flat. Again, I think it's easier on the front knee if that back heel is up. Front knee doesn't track past the toes. Hands can stay on the chair. They can come to prayer, out, up, whatever feels good for you. So now we're just building, we're doing some balance here, building some strength, range of motion. Spine is nice and tall, belly is pulling in. And just breathe. And then hands come to the chair. Step that right foot forward. Walk it on out a little bit. And then just turn so that, there you go. Turn so that your right hand is on your chair. And you're just gonna go ahead and fold forward. Again, your knees can be slightly bent or they can be straight. And then just grab opposite elbows and just sway side to side in your ragdoll. Just to find some release to the low back. Maybe the hips too, the knees too, definitely the head and neck. And then come back to stillness. You can reach for the chair with your right hand, or you can just roll back on up. And then just walk it on out. So now we're gonna get to our quads a little bit along with the knees. So this might be again where you wanna grab a strap or a towel. So you're gonna turn your face to your chair and you're just gonna kick your left heel towards your bum. If this is enough range of motion for that left knee, stay right there. If you want to try and reach for your foot or your pant leg and you can grab it, great, stay there. If this is not quite enough, but you can't really grab the ankle, you can take your tie. Oops, what did I do here? Sorry, guys. You can take your strap and put it on your foot or your ankle, and you can use the strap to extend your arm. So that way it gets that knee to bend a little bit more, and yet it's not like this where you're reaching for it, but it's not just hanging out down here. So straps are a friend, so just hold it there. Again, you're standing nice and tall. If you want to try and work some balance here too, you can let that right hand hover. You can reach it out, you can reach it up. Or if you just want to leave it down in the chair, you can. This is a great quad stretch, opening the left hip flexor, knee stretch. Maybe balancing, maybe not, but just breathe. And then release that left foot, slip it out of the strap if you're using a strap. Walk it on out. I'm going to flip my chair the other way so you can see my right foot. So this time go ahead and you're going to kick that right heel towards your butt. Again, you can stay right there. You can reach the right hand back and grab it and hold it. Or you can tuck the strap. See if we can do this better this time, maybe not. On that foot. And you can hold the strap. Again, your hand can stay in the chair. You can balance. Or your hand can stay right where it's at. Keep your posture tall and just breathe. And then go ahead and release that foot and that strap. You can set the strap aside, walk it on out. Just move the chair aside a little bit. And just inhale, reach those arms out and up overhead. Exhale, swan, dive down. Knees can be slightly bent. Inhale, lift up halfway. Exhale and fold. Inhale here. And exhale, slowly begin to roll back on up, reaching those arms up and up. Exhale to Tadasana or mountain pose, close your eyes. Take a couple breaths. Stand here tall. Blink your eyes to open. Okay, another pose here, just using our chair or maybe the wall. So I have legs on my chair, and all I'm going to do is I'm going to take my right foot and I'm going to put my toes on the leg of that chair, my heel is down on the earth. That way I'm getting a stretch to the whole bottom part of the foot, up the back of the ankle, back of the calf. Stand here tall. If you want to lean forward a little bit, it's going to deepen that stretch. If you don't want to use your chair, let me show you here, you can always come to a wall and put your toes on the wall, heel on the ground, and use the wall. And then just lean a little bit in towards the wall. You'll feel that stretch like I said, all the way up the bottom of the foot, back of the ankle, back of the calf, back of the knee, on into the thigh, even into the glutes. Just take a couple breaths wherever you're at, if you're at the wall or you're at the chair. And then just step away from the wall, walk it on out. I'm going to use the chair for the left side. Feel free to use the chair or use the wall, whichever is better for you. So my left toes are going on the chair, my heel is down, and I'm just going to lean forward a little bit. Not going to lie, I like the way it feels when I'm at the wall better, but just for the purposes of this, to show you guys, I'll just stay right here. And then go ahead, step away, walk it on out. And then just curl your toes under, curl your toes under, curl your toes under, 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 and under. And then go ahead and come back and have the seat back in your chair. Grab a block and make sure a block or your towels or blankets are handy, and put it in between your legs. So we're going to do Malasana sitting in the chair. So your feet are as wide as your mat. You're sitting on the edge of your seat. If this is enough for you, just sitting here like this, stay right here, bring your hands to prayer, close your eyes. You're here, going to try and stay here for about 10 breaths. If you want to take it a little deeper, you can fold forward to your hands to the chair. Walk your block forward a little bit. Flat back. So let me show you from the side what it'll look like. So if you want to lean forward, you want to keep your spine nice and long. So don't round, nice and long, and you can stay right here. If you want to go a little further still, you can keep your hands on the block, spine nice and long, and you can lift your bum off that chair. So now you're bearing weight in the legs. If you're having troubles with your knees or hips, this option is probably not for you. Just stay with your bum rested on the chair. If it's okay for you, no discomfort doing it, then you are more than welcome to lift on up. Last option is if you want to drop your hips down low and come into full Malasana. So full Malasana is this. An option if you want to try for full Malasana and maybe your heels aren't flat on the earth, because when you're in Malasana, your feet are supposed to be flat on the earth. You can have your heels on a folded blanket or towel and then come down into your Malasana. It just makes it more supported, that way your foot is flat. So please do not go into your Malasana if you're squatting and have your heels be up like this. That's not what we want. Grab a blanket or two or a towel or two. Okay, so now that you know where you're going, you find out which range of motion piece you want to do. And then go there and see if you can hold it for your 10 breaths. Ready? Let's go and do it. Today I just feel like kind of hanging here. It's another hot and humid day, so I feel kind of sluggish, so I don't really want to go all the way down Malasana and hang there for 10 breaths. So just breathe wherever you're at. Again, if you're having knee or hip issues, that bum should stay on your seat. And you can just be here nice and tall, or you can lean forward, but still there is no weight bearing on that lower leg or lower legs. And then on your next inhale, if you're in full Malasana, go ahead and drop your hands down, straighten the knees, and then drop your bum back to your chair. If you are seated in your chair, just slowly roll back up. And then everybody take their hands and hold them to the side of the chair and just butterfly those legs. And then our last pose before we settle in for our Shavasana is going to be our outer hips. So if you have your blocks or your stacked towels, I'd like you to put them underneath your feet. Again, because this is supposed to be being more gentle to our hips and our knees. So you can sit back all the way in your chair if you'd like for your hip opener, but I want your feet elevated up. Unless you're like Laurel, who has nice, long, beautiful legs, you probably don't need to do this, but everybody else should probably be having their feet on blocks. And then I just want you to take your left ankle, cross it over the right knee. If that hurts too much for the hip or the knee, extend your legs out. Now I have to scoot forward because my legs are too short. Extend your legs out with your heel on the block and just cross the left ankle over the right ankle. You're still getting an outer hip stretch there. And then what you're going to do to deepen that stretch is you're just going to twist over that left leg if you're out like this. If you're one of the seated peoples with the ankle over the knee, you're just going to take that ankle over the knee. Again, you can sit here nice and tall, or you're welcome to lean forward, keeping that spine long. So there are a few variations there that you can choose from. Pick which one works best for you without causing any pain or even causing you to grip at all. That's not what this practice is about today. It's about working some range of motion with ease to keep those joints moving without pain. Couple more breaths here. And then slowly roll back up if you were seated like this. Uncross that left ankle. Go ahead and butterfly. If you had the leg out straight, slowly untwist back to center. Uncross that left leg. Bend the legs up and butterfly. So let's go to the other side. So first option is if you want to extend that left leg out, you'll cross the right ankle over the left ankle. You'll sit tall and you're just going to twist off to the right and just hold it here. If you are doing with the knees bent, you will have the right ankle cross over the left knee. And again, you can sit tall or you can lean forward a little bit, keeping that spine long. Any variation is fine. Again, pay attention to what feels good for you. No gripping, no pain, just a mild stretch. And if you are doing your hip opener like I'm doing, go ahead and roll straight up, uncross that right ankle, go ahead and butterfly. If you had the legs out straight and were twisted, slowly untwist back to center, uncross that right ankle, bend the knees, and butterfly. So just using the blocks sitting underneath the feet, it just raised the floor up for all of us to make the stretch not as intense and not as hard on the joints. So for Shavasana, you are more than welcome. If getting on the floor bothers your knees or your hips, you are more than welcome to stay in your chair. Or if you want to take more of a traditional Shavasana, go ahead, get to the floor, lay on down. You can prop your legs up on your blankets if you have them, or your towels. I'm going to stay seated in my chair with my legs crisscross applesauce because that's what feels good for me. So bring your eyes to close. Settle in. If you're staying seated in your chair and you don't want crisscross applesauce, you can bring your towels or your blankets over and just extend your legs out so they're kind of like in a recliner almost. And just sit like this. Begin to deepen your breath. Make some small movements with your fingers and your toes. If you are lying down, go ahead and bend those knees up and then roll off to your right side. If you are seated, you can just stay right where you're at. And then my laying down, yogis, come back to a comfortable seated position. Keeping your eyes closed. Everyone bring your hands to your heart center. Thank you guys for practicing with me here today. I greatly appreciate all your love and all your support. And remember to look for the joy in missing out on things. The joy of staying home, in the quiet, in the peace. Appreciate that you have the home and everything in it. There's little gifts all around you. Appreciate them. May you be safe. May you be healthy. May you be happy. And may your mind be at ease. Together we bow and say, Namaste. Thank you guys. Have a good rest of your day. I hope you're off to a good start to your week. Sending you hugs and kisses and lots of love. Bye guys.